Yeah. So is this the beginning of that investment? Are we going to see more studios coming down the pipe?
I think we're always open to looking at expanding our first party. I don't think Matt Booty, who runs our first party, looked at E3 as the end of our journey here. I think it's something that will always keep our eyes open. Not all these deals happened at the same time. We were lucky enough to be able to keep some of the news quiet for a little while, which doesn't always happen, but it was nice that it did. So we could land the news here and the surprise, which is always a nice thing. Not all these deals happened at the same time. We were lucky enough to be able to keep some of the news quiet for a little while. We were lucky enough to be able to keep some of the news quiet for a little while.
What's going on, people? This is KingsBlood and I'm back with another video. If you missed my last video, the link is in the description, so check that out. Also, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Now, Xbox put on a show for the ages this past Sunday. It was truly godly. One can never lie about that. But there was some things y'all seem to have missed. There's a hidden message in there, and if you guys don't mind, I would love to point it out to you. Now, I need you guys to follow me, alright? So, notice in the Xbox E3 conference, there were no new AAA exclusive IPs announced. Just the same old Halo, Gears, and Forza. We've seen a couple spin-off Gears games, but that's not a new AAA IP, nor is the Gears Tactics game coming to Xbox, alright? In the after show, they announced a shooter called Vigor by the DayZ devs, but that's not a AAA. And I believe that's going to game preview if I'm not mistaken. Now, what I'm getting at is, when you strip away the multiplats from the Xbox E3 conference, you get the same old thing, some console exclusive indies, a couple PC handouts, and a strange announcement that I feel was strategically tacked on. Now, we have watched a few of these trash inside Xbox shows that lacked any real depth in terms of what's going on inside Xbox, behind the scenes. Yet, they announced all their new studios on stage at E3. Those announcements would have been the talk of every inside Xbox. They could have announced one studio per show, then put the rest on stage at E3, but no. They strategically announced their studios at E3. But why? Now, if you had 2 years left in a generation, and you had no new AAA IPs to announce at what your fans call the Mecca of gaming, how do you soften that L? You show people that you are at least starting work on new IPs in the form of announcing on that big stage you bought all these new studios. It's like when your mother told you hours ago to clean up that nasty ass room and you hear her footsteps coming up the stairs. You're not going to sit there and stare at her when she looks in your room. You're going to at least look like you're cleaning up. That's what announcing the acquisition of these studios at E3 did. It shows you that they are working on something. You heard Phil Spencer at the beginning of this video. Not all these deals happen at the same time. We were lucky enough to be able to keep some of the news quiet for a little while. If you had new IPs, those studios don't get announced on stage, at least not all of them. They get announced on your extremely boring monthly show. They were announced at E3 because for the rest of this generation, unless they buy AAA exclusives like they did last gen with Mass Effect and Gears, all you have to release in terms of AAA exclusives is Halo, Gears, and Forza. You knew the announcement of buying Playground Games and Ninja Theory alone would ease that frustration. That announcement tells us the future of Xbox is in good hands. How sad is the state of Xbox when all they gave you was the idea of new games, and you idiots told them they won E3. Now we're hearing about a new Xbox is already in the works for 2020. That means we've heard about the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, and now Project Scarlet before they announced a new AAA exclusive IP. They literally looked you in the eye and told you, hashtag wait till next generation.